The beats, the flow, the rhythm. All movement starts from the streets. Streets A&R Podcast. Young God, man.
Young God.
How he laces like that? Somebody better call Griselda. They playing.
Man.
They ain't playing, we playing.
Man. Shout out to the Young God.
Young God on the beat, man. Intro fire. But yeah, welcome to the Streets A&R Podcast. This is episode 2. Yeah, we full 2. No issues, no halves. This is episode 2.
Yes, sir.
It's one of your hosts right here, getEJIKEwithit. When to my side we have...
It's your boy, Jonny Knogood. That's JonnyKnogOod. You can find me on all your social medias at that, man. Man, we here, man. It's funny, man, that we doing this podcast, man, and we sitting here talking about a lot of stuff when it come to hip-hop music, and a lot of people truly don't understand the elements of hip-hop and stuff, man. So I'm looking forward to this segment of this episode.
For sure. But before we get to hip-hop, and before we get to this episode, for real, I took my brother Johnny on a little escapade last night. I had to introduce him to some stuff that he didn't know nothing about. And so if you didn't know, I don't know, some of y'all know, I am a proud member of a fraternity, a black fraternity. I am a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. And our sister sorority out here in Omaha, Nebraska, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, they had a little neophyte presentation. And I had the pleasure of taking my boy Johnny to one of these.
Man.
And even before that, I had to I was explaining a little bit of what we doing or what it would be like, and even showed him my probate. So I probated. They had a presentation. That's different, but we ain't getting into that. This ain't that type of pod. But I want Brother Johnny to just talk about what he saw. All sides of what he saw.
Oh, man.
But because he told me, he said, man, this is what I missed out on. I was like, yeah, man, the Greek life is cool. He's like, no, man, the women, man.
The college experience, man. Yeah, shout out to my bro, getEJIKEwithit, man, and shout out to the sisters at what is it?
Zeta Phi Beta.
Man, see, look at me, about to get
just say Zetas,
down.
the Zetas.
The Zetas, look at me. I'm talking about how fine they is. I ain't getting no play. Sitting there messing up the order and everything. But first of all, man, them sisters was powerful. It's one thing to see, beautiful women, but it's another thing to see beautiful women who discipline. And seeing the strength that those ladies had holding down the line, man, was powerful. With that being said, man, yeah, man, I didn't have the real college experience, man. I went to a community college. I went over to Iowa Western for a semester. I went to Metro Community College for a while, man, but I didn't have a real, full blown real life college experience. And last night, man, seeing some of those sisters, man, how put together they was, bro, that was eye opening, bro.
Yeah, and that was a taste of that was just that little bit of kind of what you see in Greek life, and not even being able to see the full breadth of college. And then for me, somebody like me, I went to a PWI, but boy, my PWI was litty like a titty. And
litty like a titty.
We literally, I went to Ohio University, and you better look it up. Back when I was in school, was 2006 to 2010 or so. Go look up who the number one party school in the nation was. Y'all remember Girls Gone Wild? You remember the Halloween edition? Guess where they was at? Stop playing. You stay on certain streets, and at least you had to throw a party. So I even had a different experience going somewhere like that than other places. But yeah, man, it's just that environment of Greek life and unity, and seeing it, even if sometimes the orgs have their little divisions and divides in each org, seeing the unity, seeing the like you said, the discipline, the knowledge that you have to do, the things you have to exert, and the things you learn about yourself during that whole process. And it's beautiful when we actually, put it back out into the world and take these principles that we pledge to, bro. Like when you see it and you see how they interact with other groups. And I tell people all the time, for the most part, most of the most famous, well-known African Americans in this country, they all belong to a Black Greek-led organization. There's very, very few that we kind of know and or celebrate that don't. And there's something to be said about that. It don't mean it's necessary.
Why you think that is that most of the Black people who then made an impact in culture and society belong to an organization?
There's different ways, different sides of it. But one of the things is seeing the value of belonging to an organization and learning how to manifest what it is you set out to do. When you're trying to get into these orgs, especially the old school way, there's things and processes that you have to go through that you had to do back then. And that taught you how they were there to mold you into a better person and learning how to persevere. And I think going through that and having that camaraderie and understanding how to work with one another, understanding you need to be in unison with this person. You may not even like them, but you got to be in step in unison with this person. You learn to do that in your community work. You learn to do that in your business. You learn the importance of working together to a common goal. You learn all of these things, and I think you just take those principles and you just apply them in life. And I think that's really a lot of times why and how these people have had practice at doing this, practice at coming together, meeting people for the first time, going through something together, that bond of going through something together. And moving out from that and how to push forward and how to be organized and how to have each other's backs. It's just lessons that you just move with. So I think for me, that's probably one of the main reasons. Like even the most radical, bro, my fraternity brothers is Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale. Understand what we talking about here. So it's, even though Huey, I think, was on record saying I went to college so I could learn how to be a better criminal. Shout out to my brother, man. But he did some things, but it speaks to it. Even the most radical, quote unquote, radical of us, it still teaches those lessons. And you just got to get that glimpse. And hopefully one day we just teach you more, and then just so you can see what it is and what it ain't, and see how we can continue to work with these organizations, and how these organizations can continue to grow and do more for us as we keep moving. You know what I'm saying? Like we need it. And we all need it. And trust me, you ain't got to be one to make an impact, believe me. But it does give you a good base and a great network to pull from. And that's one of the biggest benefits. But yeah, man, they fine.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the sisters who we were celebrating with last night too.
Oh yeah.
Afterwards.
We stopped by my homegirl. She's in AKA Alpha Kappa Alpha. And they had a little ceremony. Shout out to them, man, here in Omaha. They brought in, I think, 12 sisters as well. So shout out to them, man. And we just had to stop by and just see one of my friends who was in town. She was in town for that because she's an AKA as well. She was supporting one of her good friends from here. So, and John was like, oh, man, it's just good being around some beautiful women and just chill, just having a good time, no static, no BS. And we gonna get to that part of not having no static and no BS and what these environments should look like on today's topic. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I'm glad you came, bro. I really am. Like,
man, thank you for inviting me, man. Like honestly, like I said, it was different environment, man. I still got my biases, man, but I definitely was looking at the environment like, yeah, this was pretty cool.
Yep. Cool, man. So today, though, we going to hop on in our topic, man. We going right into it. It's a little bit of a history, but this subject is near and dear to me. I told people that I do DJ. I'm a disc jockey. And I don't think right now in the world, in our culture, we kind of have slipped from what a DJ is supposed to be doing and how we're supposed to be, what we were responsible for and what we aren't. What our skills are supposed to be and what we aren't. And what are the environments that we set. And talking about it. And I might bring up some stuff even locally, but man, we got to talk about this. So we're going to dive into the history, and I want my brother Jonny to help me out a little bit too and make sure I don't miss anything. Okay. But when we talk about hip-hop culture, right, everybody knows about hip-hop. First hip-hop party, if you don't know, 1973, I think in September, on Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx. There was a DJ named DJ Kool Herc. DJ Kool Herc, go look him up. His pictures, he was cool. He earned the name. That boy, he looked cool as shit. Kool Herc looked cool, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I would want to hang around Kool Herc.
Man, shout out to DJ Kool Herc.
But he was in there. He threw a little party in his little apartment building, right? And in this party, what he figured out was, he knew that every time a record come on, regardless of the genre, for the most part during that time, in the 60s and 70s, there was always this part in the song. This part in the song had it was a drum break where they kind of let the drummers get down. You know, drummers are usually one of the funkier instrumentalists in the band because they just like to go. They like create new sounds. The drum break would be the drummers getting it in. Don't even match the tempo of the song sometimes, but they just get on their beat and they go crazy. He noticed that, hey, people really groove on this little 4-bar, 8-bar, 16-bar break. Only a few seconds. So what he was doing was taking that part of a song, buying the same record. He would play the drum break, boom, 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 play it on the other song. As soon as this one ends on one turntable, play it on the other. So it's boom, 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 and he go back and forth. So where he takes a 8 to 12 second part, makes that thing into a 2-minute jam, and people are dancing. And then find the next record with a cold drum break, and the next record. And he was what we were called needle dropping, bro, which is crazy. So if anybody ever had, y'all know what a record player is? Shout out to my people over the age of 30. A record player had a record and it has a needle on it. He would take that needle and place it right at the part, for the most part, where that drum break starts. Listening in his headphones for the part, and then when that part's coming, turns up the volume on the speakers, and that part will play. And he will take the needle on the other one, get it ready, and drop it right on that start point, and drop it in. That's a needle drop. I ain't never gonna do that technique. That is precision at its finest. But he had the party going, and he had it going. So other people heard about this. People were bootlegging his tapes. There's some things you can actually go look up. Some things like the history of hip hop. Netflix has a great documentary series on the history of hip hop. I kind of forget. I think it's kind of like the history of hip hop. I forget the official name, but go to Netflix and look it up. And then also there's you
ain't talking about that evolution of hip hop.
The evolution of hip hop.
Evolution.
So check out that first season, and you'll really get a good general grasp of how this thing got started. And then there's a good show that they have not rebooted on Netflix. Shout out to the Get Down, man. That was my show.
Shout out to the Get Down. I still got to check that out, man.
Yeah.
I know that's based off of a lot of the legends, you know, like Grandmaster Flash and them. So I still got to check that out.
But yeah, so they did a good job, even though it's kind of it's not a I almost said false. What's the word for like a book? That's I just blanking. We blanking. Fiction. It's fiction. I don't know. Bless me. But it's fiction. But it has a lot of real elements in it about how things got done, and even putting in the people that we were discussing that really made this thing move. So Kool Herc started that. So it was a cat we just talked about. Said his name, Grandmaster Flash. Grandmaster Flash was known for. He found out about DJing, and he kind of locked himself in the house and figured out how to really turn DJing into turntablism. What I mean is, back in the day, they had records. I got a stack of records right here. Here's a little 45. I don't even know who this is. We got 45, but let's say you just had the whole record. He would get the record, place it on there. Now, back in the day, you weren't supposed to put your hands on records. You just drop it, put the needle down. Grandmaster Flash did this. And people were kicking his ass out of clubs for touching the records. They thought that was blasphemy, thought it was going to mess it up. So he was putting his hands on record, bringing them back to points, having the needle heavy, so digging a groove in it. They thought it was going to mess it up. What he was doing is getting his points. He would draw on the records. He would put a line, like a crayon line, this way for a starting point, and he'll put a line in one of the grooves. So he know on this is where that song track, that break is, and this is the starting point of that break. And he would have it drawn on. Bing. So now he can get to it quick. He can see it. He rewind it right to that point. Boom. If you know, Grandmaster Flash is a nerd. He'll tell you he's a nerd. This man has a mathematical formula about how many times to watch the record spin to know what point it's at, to bring it back. He says just count. You can just count it. And it works every time.
Man, that's crazy, bro.
Math.
Like, that's crazy.
He's a scientist, a mathematician, scientist, nerd, god in DJing. And what he was doing, he kind of created and started turntablism. And there were other people following him who really took it on, even like, I think it was the Grand Wizard Theodore.
Yeah, Grand Wizard Theodore. First person discovered scratching.
Yep. So, and he got busy, you know what I'm saying? And then you had somebody as influential. I know it's a little controversial sometimes to talk about him, but Africa Bambaataa. And he really kind of pushed the movement of hip hop, of turning the streets into something positive. And instead of having people shoot out and stuff, starting the Zulu Nation, he had them boys real life handling beef with dance battles. You get what I'm saying? Built a nation, organized.
Yeah, but it's just it's hard to try to act like he despite whatever contribution somebody that had in hip hop, it's hard to overlook some of the stuff that he did, bro. So
we not gonna overlook it. We just gonna say that's what he did, and his contribution was the movement part of it and the organizing. We can leave that alone. If you want to know more about it, please go look it up. We ain't gonna sully his name more than he sullied it himself.
For sure. Nah, for sure. That's one thing that we ain't here to do. We not here to we're not here to put no bad lights on no other black people, but we definitely got to be responsible.
Right. So that's how we started. And you got to understand, hip hop in itself started out by the definition, hip and hop. We talked about it last time. Hip was slang for cool, in style, upbeat, on target. Hop was referring to the movement, and which refers even more directly to dance and movement. Hip hop was started, bro, by primarily first, and sometimes even before the DJ, the graffiti artists, because that movement was moving. They had some new funky artists in town, and they blended. Then you had the DJ. The DJ would play those break beats, and then you had the dancers, the b-boys and b-girls, the break boys and break girls, and some will tell you it's even meant, I think, even more Bronx girls and Bronx boys who were dancing first, but they just changed it to break boys and break girls. And then to get the party live, you had to have a master of ceremony, somebody who was good with words, somebody who can get the crowd hype. That's your MC, master of ceremony, the mic checker. And we are at a point, now where we have all of those elements running, and sometimes they're blended. But it's important that we understand that the role of a DJ back then is probably more so in tune to what the role of a DJ should be now with the introduction of the internet. So when we talk about DJing and stuff like that, what do people think about when they talk? When you hear a DJ, what do you think a DJ does? When you hear somebody, he a DJ.
Well, that's a little different, man. I'm not the average, but the average person hears DJ and they probably thinking of somebody who get the party going, somebody who plays songs, and stuff like that. So that's what I think of, or I think the average person think of when they hear DJ.
Yeah, pretty much. Nowadays, everybody think that the DJ is somebody that they can run up to. Hey, DJ. Hey, let me hear that. What's the name? Whoopty wop. Hey, DJ. Let me get this. Now I don't know about you, but I don't remember the last time I seen Jazzy Jeff get a request. I don't know last time I seen Craze get a request. I don't know last time I think we seen any major clubs, especially back in the day. The DJ was there to be your introduction to half of the music that you heard. The DJ was the artist. You were there. People followed the DJs. The DJs were powerful. The DJs set the mood. The DJs really curated the environment. And when we talk about curating the environment, depending on what you're doing and where you at, the DJ is in charge, and he's going to tell you how you should feel and what you should do by the music. Not by the word, not by his words or her words, but by the music. Meaning, if you're at a fashion show and you have let's say you have a DJ there. Even if you don't have a DJ there, you should consult the DJ on what the mood is, what the vibe of the fashion is, what your theme is, and have them help you curate your music to line up with your show and what you want to put out to the crowd. Meaning every show don't need to be just the club turn up music. Sometimes you got to have a very different ear for music and to say, oh, well, this song would go great. You doing a Halloween thing? Maybe you should check out this artist. This sound will go great with this. The DJ could have a role in that, bro. Should have a role. We should be prominent in these roles. And by DJing, it goes beyond just the turntablists and that. It's just people who have an ear to make an event happen and know how to make the music for that event. Because that's what we're ultimately responsible for, is that. But we also have issues with, like, and my biggest gripe right now, the club. Jonny Knogood, I'm 34. Jonny Knogood, do you know when I was in the clubs?
How long ago was you in the clubs?
That was back, I graduated high school in 05. Even before graduating, I went middle school, I was in Texas. 98, 99, 2000, them years. Bro, do you not, for me, that might have been the greatest party club era of music that we ever encountered.
You said what years?
The late 90s, early 2000s. And I will battle you old heads about the 90s all day up and down. Because, you know, when the 99 and when you heard taking over for the 99 and the 2000, you knew what was finna happen. And me being from East Texas, that's right next to the Shreveport, Louisiana. You know, Louisiana twerk capital.
Yeah.
That's where it started.
Yeah, I started, you think about Cash Money and they run that they had in the late 90s, early 2000s. Oh, yeah, that was definitely magical. I'm thinking of Set It Off right now. So, yeah, that was like a groundbreaking video.
Yep.
So, no, definitely.
Understand, in middle school, I remember when Nelly dropped EI. I remember being on the dance floor and hearing, "Oi." I remember going to the party in my windbreaker suit, baby blue windbreaker suit, with my black and baby blue and one shoes.
Hey, that's funny though. I still remember underlay, but what's the other one? His first track.
Oh, Country Grammar.
I'm going down, baby. Yo, street. Hey, that stuff crazy, man.
Street stripper, baby, cock back, ready to let it.
But yeah.
You know, so, and you know what happened when these songs came on back then? Even in middle school, do you know what happened?
What happened?
It was Twerk City, little ding-a-ling going up everywhere.
This nigga said twerk sessions.
Little ding-a-ling.
That make me think of BET Uncut.
BET, don't play with us this time and bring back and start doing that whatever that trick show was with Ashton Kutcher. We want the actual Uncut back. Stop playing. When they had
Tip Drill on there in that
Tip
one
Drill.
song. What was that song that was playing all the time? White girl.
I'm talking about them white girls. Hey, but you know a song. Hey, Chinky song right there on Uncut, the Uncut version.
I never heard the Uncut version.
No, the song the same. The video,
A whole different video, huh?
Hey, shout out to 50 Disco Inferno.
Okay.
Yeah, you didn't watch that video?
I never did. I heard about it.
Oh my
I
God.
heard about it.
You wasn't
I was young, bro.
Yeah,
like you gotta realize I was sneaking on there. Like that stuff was borderline soft porn. That was like soft porn back
bro.
then. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like you see when he took the little credit card and he made that transaction. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like I had to learn how to not objectify women after stuff like that. You get what I'm saying, bro? He took that credit card and made that transaction, bro. Like, yeah.
Man, it was another. I'm blanking on the name. I just I ain't got no panties on. Ain't got no panties on. Ain't got no panties on.
Other one,
the dance floor.
Ludacris them.
Oh,
he
head down. Oh man,
popping. Hey, on the headstand.
Now I want you to imagine. Not the videos. Look, all those videos just ran through my head. They fresh for some reason. They are burned into my head.
Programming.
Great programming. But I want you to imagine what the party scene was like when them songs came on. You could. What do you, bro? Everybody moving, grooving, and dancing, bro.
Man, shout out, man. You talk about Streets A&R Podcast, and you talk about that time period. Anybody in Omaha know who Dre Rash is, man. Shout out to Dre Rash, man, and the Omaha Flyers parties that he used to throw around that time period, bro. Like when you talk about like the city, back when Ames and the Strip was popping. And the Strip was when everybody used to drive up and down Ames Street, bro. Like, you know, it'd be crowded and just, you couldn't even get through. But that was the environment. And, you know, it was a lot of people, you know, a lot of people was on different type of mind-altering drugs and stuff like that, too. But the club environment, people was having fun, bro. People was having money, getting money. Like, it was a different environment, man. A lot of things changed after 07, 08.
Yep. And I was in Tyler, Texas at this time. And in Tyler, I remember in high school, it was a group. Shout out to them, man. They were called the Circle Boys. And they was throwing, I wasn't even allowed to go to the party.
The Circle Boys.
Circle Boys.
Circle Boys.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a name right there. The Circle
And then at the end, but you gotta remember, I'm at a place, and I know y'all had a lot of teen parties too up here, but we had teen clubs, real clubs. I think, was it Rodeo Cowboy? So we had places and even lock-ins at the skating ring and stuff. So y'all know Omaha skate city, if y'all didn't know.
Yeah.
It used to be a skate city.
Man.
But we had places where people can go out, and now all of our music and stuff was geared towards having a good time. And whether you like it or not, a club is a place where you're supposed to be meeting people and mingling, and typically meeting somebody you interested in or might be.
Yes, sir.
That's kind of the environment it's supposed to be.
So
the music helped to push that narrative for good or for bad. Mostly good, depending on what we define as good. But, you know, really push that narrative, bro. And it was just a time, even going into college, bro. That was me going into college. And you also have your whole, it was so many scenes popping off. Dipset popping off.
Yeah, shout out to Dipset. Hey, Jewels was my guy. Hey, you couldn't tell me I wasn't gonna be part of Dipset.
3-6 was still popping off.
Man, shout out 3-6.
I'm from Texas, so we had a whole nother club scene, bro. That and 05 and up was when we started really bumping. Dallas, Texas kind of curated their own sound, and Dallas is like a dance capital, bro. It's one of those cities where I call it, they got dancing thugs. So some cities, people like, oh, the nigga that dance, oh, they cool, they ain't gonna do, nah. The one that's dancing will then knock you out, and then you go run in your car and your shit sitting on cinder blocks. Like you gotta watch Dallas. Hey, shout out Dallas though, bro. Like, they really get down, but you know what I'm saying? It's like they still everybody dancing. Like you see Jig and all, like everybody grooving, bro. And it's good to see, and it was about feeling good. Like you really went to the club to feel good. I remember us going, and especially in college, bro. Going out, and if you didn't leave sweaty, you thought the party was sucked. If you didn't leave drenched in sweat, you thought the party sucked.
Man, well, shout out to them hot ass basement parties that we used to have. I had shared a meme on Instagram a couple weeks ago, and I said I could literally smell this party. Shout out to them parties. They had cost $1, $2, $3 to get in. I swear to God, them must be popping more than these $20 parties right now. $1, whole basement full, and all you got is condensation on the walls because it's so hot up in that mud.
Johnny, right behind us on this white raw, you will see a streak of blue from niggas' jeans from getting twerked on the wall. They wall turned blue. It's a center about, if you're about 5'8" to 6'3", it was a blue streak on the wall.
Man, shout out to my cousin Kariba, man. He kept me in all the parties about 04 through 06, man. I was scary. I didn't want to be in the parties, man. He had me in all the parties, man. Shout out to my cousin, man.
Yeah, but the club is a good training ground, bro.
Yeah.
It's a good training ground for being aware. Knowing how to operate in different environments.
But hold up, though. You saying this as somebody who don't drink, though.
Yeah, I have fun. If you drunk, good luck. That's all I can tell you. Well, you probably had fun, too.
Yeah.
You wasn't trying to be aware. Actually, your fun was not being aware.
Man. But nah, see, E is one of the few people who like me who don't drink, you know what I'm saying? So we be in these environments sober. It's a different feel when you're in an environment sober, especially when you ain't got to look after nobody.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't think a lot of people being aware of what's going on in the club. That's how people end up getting caught and stuff.
Yeah, but when I say aware, it's even understanding situations that may arise, understanding what the cues are, understanding, and then the club is great for learning how to talk to people, code, how to learn how to approach, how to work on your confidence. If you stay at it, or it can destroy your confidence, but you learn how to read those nonverbal cues. Should I go over there and talk to her? I do. If you're not a code, I'm like, man, let me see. If she brush up, oh yeah. Hey, I'm gonna teach a club 101 class. It's gonna be real fun on how to operate in environments like that where you're trying to talk to somebody. But just that feel and learning and watching people and watching the different characters and seeing what groups of people do this and seeing who really is there for dancing, seeing who they're just trying to get on something. And then, like, bro, for real, for watching how the DJs curate your feelings in that environment. They curate your feelings in that environment. They're partly responsible, because we only partly, but they have the opportunity to dictate what you are really on, because we're feeding you. Remember, like you said, that most people in the club that is 21 and up, they're not sober.
Not at all.
So their inhibitions are lowered.
Yes, sir.
They're more susceptible to cues. So as a DJ, you get the opportunity to give the vibes and get the cues that you want. What used to happen back in that day, up until about 08, it started to shift a little. Most, if not almost all of our music said the words. I'm going to say these words: bounce, shake, twerk, flip, do that, pop. Every song. So guess what happened in the club? It was a lot of bouncing, shaking, twerk, popping. And tidbit, hey, y'all remember when the last 30 minutes of the party,
man, they would make an announcement. It's the last 30 minutes. Y'all better find that girl, get her tight. You know what I'm saying? They'll set you up.
They'll set you up.
They're going to play 5-6 butter songs.
Man, slow. If these four walls could talk, I want to make love tonight. Hey.
Or what was it? Pretty Willie?
That's Pretty Willie, bro.
Lay your body down. Hey, and let me your body. Hey, I'm Luther in the shower, so you know when we edit this and throw the auto tune on it,
and we throw some raindrops in the back, it's gonna sound great.
Gonna sound good. You know, just keep me in mind. What the Zetas? Zetas, just keep me in mind. I'm trying to still redeem myself from earlier. You know what I'm saying? I seen the way y'all was singing it. All of that,
man. Yeah. But the DJ was, the whole point of them was like, hey man, we not trying to leave nobody out here high and dry. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to try to get on. We setting it up. And I ain't gonna lie, when you in some of the parties, I'm like, man, I thought I had a shot at her. She been dancing with him for 2.5 songs. I'm done.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Hey, and don't let it get serious though.
Man. But hey, that was, shout out to the DJs who did that, and if you doing parties who still do that, which is rare.
Man,
this gets to my point of what are we curating and what are we trying to have happen in and outside these establishments, especially like clubs.
Man,
what are we trying to have happen?
Very, very powerful question, man. Because I think, like you said, we responsible for creating and setting a tone. And like in these certain environments, if we not playing certain music, because music is a conduit, you know, it's vibrations. If you got a certain frequency, like music has the ability to heal. That's a deeper subject for another time. But when we out here operating and having music that's appealing to a lower nature, you know, and it's putting a certain frequency out here in the people, it's setting certain environments up to be chaotic, where you could set an environment up to be romantic. You get what I'm saying? Like, so we have to understand the power of the music that we putting out here, man, and be mindful of the spaces we curate.
Right. And you got to understand, this ain't nothing new. I remember being in the park. I remember actually, I'm going to tell a little story. I remember being in junior college. Shout out Kilgore College. We was at a party. Earlier that day, it was some things that went down with one of my little homies. And we took him to the party. I think I told you about this story.
Yeah, last week.
Yep. And so we go to the party. So we in the party. It's cool. Next thing you know, again, we talk about looking at cues. You see some homies on this side that he had beef with start gathering up a little bit and start squaring off, facing one direction. They all I'm like, okay. So, and then you see the other homies. I'm looking like, all right. So they kind of gather up just in case. Next thing you know, do you know what the DJ plays? The DJ sees it. And guess what the DJ plays?
Don't tell me he played Tear the Club Up.
Fuck the mother niggas. Oh, my God.
Oh, man. Oh, man. You know,
we love
you
that
hear
song, but
in the club,
you know when you hear that song, you better start looking.
Man, shout out to my guys from Deuce 4. You know, shout out to my guys from the bottoms. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know who y'all is. I ain't trying to incriminate nobody. But many of niggas was slept because I ride for my niggas, man. Them other niggas. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to my guys, man. Y'all been knocking niggas out. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know who y'all is. And niggas know who y'all is too. That's part of the niggas we seen. We was at Jesse.
Yeah. I felt it. You remember I asked you, I said, hey, bro, how many shooters in here? He was like, it was some in there.
It's a couple. Shout out to the shooters, man. Shout out to the shooters.
Don't shoot nobody no more.
We out here giving life.
Right.
And that's the one thing, man, about growth, though. I can't say that a lot of those guys, man, is at a place, man, where they now contributed to community, man. Like establishing business, man. So shout out to the real shooters, man. The real gangsters is the ones that's about community. Don't forget that.
Right. So yeah, man, just that the DJ was, and it's multiple times. Now sometimes you would see a DJ who at certain establishments they done got so fed up, or they know their liquor license is on the line. They see the fights, boy, they gonna throw on that slow music and a heartbeat. Like, all right, we finna change this all the way up. What you mean? We finna calm it down the best we can. That ain't gonna stop. It might not stop all of y'all, but we gotta discharge the environment. We don't need to charge it up. We got to bring the environment down just a little bit, just so we can get back to our regular schedule. Y'all do y'all little scuffle, handle up.
But that goes to emotional intelligence. Like, why the hell would you play that song in a powder keg environment?
Man, I don't know.
Shit. Shit, you might play that at the nursing home in a couple of,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know a couple people still be gang banging.
Old ass. You been talking shit in pinochle.
And he got an extra Jello today. You know what I'm saying? You know, they beef about the simple things. Extra Jello, another pudding. So you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I
couldn't get my blanket warmed up, but this nigga.
Hey, them warm blankets is different. You start traveling, you getting the extra pillows and the warm blankets and stuff. Hey, them warm blankets, man.
Hey, man, them airlines be looking out sometimes, especially when they know it's a long flight. Be like, would you like a blanket? They used to be heated up pre-COVID, boy. Man. Be out.
Man.
Back to your baby days, man. But yeah, just that environment is so dope. It could be so dope. And it's you gotta remember clubs back in when you just see depictions of like the Roaring 20s, even then post-depression, in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, the club, what they look like, bro. People went out to have a good time, to loosen up, to explore part of their sexual nature, bro, without having to do the full dance. Or to try to get to go do the full dance.
You're very right about that, man.
And we were really still on that. We've been on it. You talk about the hip hop golden era in the 90s, we were still on that. People were still, and that was back when people was choreographing dances and stuff, getting it in, teams, going battling, real B-boy still stuff, and then just friends clicking up and doing their little dances. That was real. A lot of people think it's just movie stuff. That was real.
Right.
And then going into the 2000s, even though we started twerking and doing all this, we still had that feeling, bro, we going to the club to have a good time. Like, you literally was like, man, I can't wait. I got this fit. I just bought this, bro. This is fresh. Fresh fit. And I'm ready to show it off. I'm smelling good. I'm looking good. I know she's is gonna be looking good. We all on. I'm trying to tell you, wasn't no sweats in the club back then.
Man.
Now you might have a sweatsuit that was all matching, clean.
Man.
A tracksuit, but we was trying to be out and be around. And again, sweating was a part of the nature. Even at just a big establishment, bro. I remember a party I went to at Ohio State when I was in Ohio. We drove down. That was a wild night because we ended up getting our car towed, and then my homie busted the window out of the person who called on us with a cinder block.
Hey, y'all see how he just rushed through that story?
Yeah.
I told y'all we're going to have a whole segment on some of E's stories and just the stuff from college, man. It's crazy.
But we got in. We went. First of all, it was about $20 to get in. This college, too. We ain't got that much. I ain't had that much money. I didn't get Pell Grant. I just had my Scally check, a little bit of it left over. But then it was like, hey, it's going to be $30 for a hat. I said, nigga. This is the era when everybody had hats. So you trying to charge us $50, $60 to get in this club. I said, hell no, I ain't coming here. He said, all right, man, let's just get us $200, then we good. Because there's about six of us. So it would have been, if we'd all paid, it'd been more close to $300 or something like that. So we just got the two together. And it's just being in, and up there, they had my school was a party school, but it was in a college town. So there weren't big city stuff. And Ohio State is in Columbus, Ohio. That's a big city, metro city. So they have their parties at the bigger clubs. Being in their 2-story club, I still remember what I had on. I had on the tallest of tall tees with a big ass glitter Mario on it.
Glitter Mario. hey, real quick though. Because that's one thing we do talk about, like the 2000s, like everything was great. And I remember when stuff started first getting form fitting. I was a late adopter. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I was making fun of everybody. But damn, bro, one windstorm and we would fly away in the early 2000s, late 2000s.
Why was we still keeping the orange sticker on tall tee on the shirt?
Even on the hat. You got to just keep the sticker on the hat. So then when it accidentally come off, all you see is this brand new patch and the rest of it look like you've been dusting with. Man, get back to the story, man.
It was just good being there and getting to see some new ladies. And then it's not just the college girls. This is a city. So you seeing the girls, just the young chicks who just in the city. Boy, we was. And this is back when I was still like nervous. So I didn't really get on too much. I was still kind of gun shy. And just watching my homies, they ain't never been gun shy. But I'm like, if they winning, I'm winning. We real supportive. Men are supportive in the club. I promise you.
Hey, I just seen a video the other day where a little dude had got a number.
Oh yeah, at the game.
Came back. And that's how it be. It's like, bro, if the homie get the baddest chick, you like, dang, you got her. It's just like the Woods.
Yeah.
You got Alicia number?
Oh, she worked 10 of these.
10 of those. Hey.
You
man.
got it, Mike.
Man, shout out to the homies who not afraid to see the homies win.
Man, we got to support one another. Man. We know it's hard out here trying to get a dub.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we support it. We gonna coach you up. We don't even know you, and we'll be like, hey, man. Hey, no, bro, no, you good? Just we asked me, hey, no, you good? Go to that one. Yeah, you good? Hey, just tell her this. You good? And be for real. And we have a lot of trust in random men when trying to get women, because I think we all share the struggle for some type of struggle. Man. No matter how good you look, how swole you are, it's gonna be some type of struggle unless you just super duper rich and known.
Man,
you gonna
even then, like that's how people Brittany Renner's and stuff, because they know like we still suffer from a lack of confidence. You know, at the end of the day.
You gonna get us counsel saying her name. She be taking videos down left and right.
Oh man,
I don't care. Hey,
shout out to her, man. I just sent y'all her video. I support what she got going on, educating the young brothers down there at Jackson State. Do your thing. Yeah. I'm just saying that it's a dog-eat-dog world, and the art of seduction is real. And wherever somebody smell weakness or they can be able to manipulate, they will. So just be up on your game.
Well, yeah, man. That when you talk about good times, we rarely, seldom, in the last 6 years, have had as good of times in an establishment. And part is due, and I think, and this is my own opinion, part is due to the scene we set up in these environments. Our music has changed. It was considered club music. We love the trap era. And we still kind of in it, even though the trap era coming in was about selling, and the trap era now is about using. But I'm just saying, because I remember when Jeezy and them tracks hit hard when T.I., Jeezy and them came through and still rocking and stuff from Memphis, the originals.
I'm about to say shit, even Gotti and them.
Yeah.
You know, Gangsta Party and all of that. No, definitely. It was a whole different era.
Yeah.
And it was definitely about how many drugs you sold as opposed to how many drugs you used.
So that was kind of like the start. Even though we still had some fun people to come through. We had the like Migos. If you wasn't in Georgia when Migos started, I was in grad school in like 2010 to 2012, I think. Hey, bro, Migos, Travis Porter, them groups, like when group hip hop came back, had the clubs. Parties rocking.
That was a part of the time when I wasn't listening to music like that, like not hip hop music. But 2011, all of that time period, I was away from hip hop.
Yeah, man. And again, you also have regional stuff. Like there's so much music to pull from. It's kind of crazy that where we are now, and where we are now is we're in an era where in these environments that's supposed to be upbeat and fun. A lot of the tracks that are pumped to us to play in these environments, even to the point where people are requesting them, when you listen to them, and even the beats, they're down tempo, slow, 70 beats per minute, and they're talking about some stuff that's more personal and not about having fun. Or we're talking about a lot of stuff about killing, a lot of killing, or being on your own and only don't fuck with nobody. I'm with my homies. And we're kind of reaping the benefits of that. And those benefits are detrimental. We're reaping those rewards right now. And we going out and we literally kind of know. Like we live in the O. We know that every time we go out, for the most part, probably something gonna happen or it's gonna get shut down. The last time we went out, and it was a big club. We went to a club. Club was cool. We was having a good time, trying to send my homegirl off. We just chilling. They was all drunk, having a great time.
Great time.
Next thing you know, I look across the dance floor and bop, 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 bop. Then a whole lot of bop, 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 bop. Then the cops come in, boom, bop, arrest, and then they shut it down.
But what kind of music was being played? What kind of music was being played? When that crowd started swelling in, and it started taking a shift, the DJ started
shifting the music.
Come on, man.
Started shifting it to kind of playing what the crowd, quote, I'm going to put air quotes on wants to hear. But I don't think this generation understands that that's not what the club is really for. The club is to have fun. So they just think the club is almost an extension of their music player. They think a club is an extension of the music player. On your music player in your personal time, you playing whatever. Kind of, you might set your mood, but you kind of playing whatever you like. A club is not necessarily just for what you like. It's about trying to dictate people to release and to have a good time.
So with that being said, right, with what the club experience should be, how it didn't change, how it didn't transform, being a person who curates spaces, being a DJ who do these things, what's a track or who's somebody that you would love to hear in the club environment? What's the song that need to be getting pumped more in the club environment?
I got plenty, but I'm gonna give y'all one, and I know I'm gonna edit it out. But if you following us on Spotify, you'll be able to hear the song.
Okay.
If you're on the other sites for podcasts, you may not be able to hear the song, but I'm gonna tell you what it is. And this song is actually also in line with today's trend of flipping 90s and 2000s music. But I believe this song is a pretty good flip of it.
Okay.
And this song is from another a brother of mine that don't know me, but I know him. That's how you. Hey, a brother of mine. He don't know me. I know him. A Nigerian brother of mine. And this is from my brother Wale. And I seen this single come out, and I heard it. I was like, that's it, because he decided to sample an amazing song from a New York artist, from Q-Tip. And that original song is called Vibrant Thing. And when you know Vibrant, when that song come on, you get vibrant, bro. It is a jam, bro. And he did a really good flip of that. And he decided to put his brother J. Cole on this song. So this song is called Poke It Out. Now, you already know there's got to be something with the booty being poked out, right? So he already setting it up to be a song for the women to bop to and dance to, and hopefully the men get on to. So I'm going to play y'all real quick. We're going to play a little bit of Poke It Out by Wale featuring J. Cole. Listen, I don't know anybody who could be in the club, especially if my DJs do me a favor. I'm giving you a cheat code. Please mix in original tracks and sample tracks with that track.
Yep.
You can do it however you feel like doing it. Whatever order, mixing it in and out. Find even an original track to that and blending them. I don't care. But do yourself a favor and jockey the damn disc and get busy with these tracks that are sampled from other things. And even if that's a sample, find that original and sample and flip it. You know what I'm saying? But get the crowd going, bro. And if you know Vibrant Things still ring off, especially if you are DJing a crowd that's probably over the age of 27, Vibrant Thing gonna still go off.
Right.
And if you don't throw this in there some kind of way, get it back on this correct tempo, move your tempos up and down. You ain't got to hit the sync button all the time. Move them tempos up and down and get with it, bro. Like, she got a little butt, but so what? I like you, little booty girl. What you mean?
Listen to me, man. When I say this, I am reformed. I used to be trying to get a 10 back when I was 10 plus 5. When I was a kid. If I see a little stretch mark, if I see a little hair on your forearm, I see a little bit of edge missing right here. That's a little bit of edge missing right there. That's the type of stuff that turned me on, because like a lot of women is so unnatural now. Just imperfections make you perfect,
man.
Imperfections make you perfect. So I'm gonna just throw that out there. Like Cole said, don't get it twisted. Natural girls with natural bodies is still winning, man.
Listen,
I'm still winning.
Hey, it's okay not to have the biggest booty,
right?
Because now this could be a different topic, but the industry don't care about y'all image as much as y'all think. The industry cares about making money. There was money in getting y'all bigger butts. Bodies.
That's another topic. Don't go there.
We ain't gonna go all the way there.
We almost at the end.
Yeah, and guess what? The industry is gonna flip in a couple of years and say we should be slim and trim.
Yep.
So they're gonna start making money on cosmetics of y'all removing. But we can't talk about that. I'm just telling you, this is what happens all the time. You just remember, just a few years ago, everybody was on the Herbalife movement, and now everybody is on body positivity. You can be, it's gonna go up and down. They trying to make money. They need it to be volatile. Boom, boom, up, down. So it's okay. Whatever body you got, you got that dookie shooting the back. That's great. If you got a little thing in the tight, that's great.
Great.
And I'm gonna tell you, most men, they think it's great regardless.
I promise you.
It's great.
Yeah.
So don't be, my little slim Jim women out here who've been feeling some kind of way. You still got it, girl.
Man, Coyle Ray.
He mentions her in the song. He said, whether you look like Meg Thee Stallion or Coyle Ray, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's, man, y'all beautiful in all the shapes and sizes. And that's it. I'll tell you this, man. It ain't your beauty, it's your confidence. Confidence go a long ways.
Yeah.
Listen.
We're going to leave this alone. That's
it, man. So we've been here on the Streets A&R Podcast, man.
But yeah, man, I really want to, I'm telling you, as far as DJing, we ain't talking skill, we ain't talking none of that. But be more of a lead and a curator of your environment. Take your part of the responsibility in your environment. If you want certain things to happen in your environment, you only have the tool of music. You can have the discretion to use it as you will. For the most part, we have to get into a space where we feel comfortable being who we are as artists and DJs and playing what we feel my environment should have. Not taking every request, not saying I got to play the hot song on the radio because it is. If you want to do that, you should go get into radio. Radio is for radio. They have to play certain songs. You can go and do that. And it takes a skill to do that. But you go and do radio. If you want to be a free form DJ like myself, I want to be known as an artist. I follow the likes of people like DJ Jazzy Jeff. I follow the likes of people like Scratch Bastard. I follow the likes of people like A-Track. I follow the likes of people like Craze. These people are booked because people want to see them. They want to see them. What they gonna play? And even people like Jazzy Jeff are so old school. He don't get on the mic. I don't like getting on the mic. I just got something to say. That's why we're doing a pod. But when it comes to DJing, I hate talking. We should get some MCs back. Let's start partnering. DJs, let the MC so you can focus on what you want to focus on. And getting the MC to get the crowd hype. Bro, do you know how cool it is when you have a literal DJ and MC pair? It changes the dynamics of your event. It's like a cool thing that I'm telling you, it will change. I'm telling you, bro, it changes.
I think that this is the type of conversations and this is the type of content that can help connect us back to what the culture of hip hop is. You mentioned the 5 pillars, but you didn't highlight them. Yeah. So could you tell us what the 5 pillars is? What's the 5 elements of hip hop?
So you have graffiti. That's the art. We have DJing. We have breakdancing. We have MCing. And why did I blank? Give me the 5th.
You said graffiti. You said MCing.
Yep.
You said breaking.
Yep.
Did you say beatboxing?
Didn't say beatboxing.
So we got beatboxing.
Beatboxing was kind of I won't say late addition, but it was the ability to be an instrument of your own. So not relying on the music, I can do this. And we are in a space where it's almost these elements are coming back. I'm seeing dancers pop back off. I'm seeing people in certain genres blend with other people in genres and make dope content, especially like in the dance world. I'm seeing art forms blend. Different styles of artists, whether you are a muralist, they're working with graffiti artists to create these dope collabs. The arts are blending.
But that is hip hop.
That is hip hop.
Always been that. Like you said earlier with DJ Kool Herc, taking the percussion breakdowns and chopping those and taking it from alternative, taking it from different art forms, different music forms. That's hip hop. Hip hop is art.
Yep. And we just have to be careful as the DJs and even MCs. MCs are getting on other genres tracks. It's their genre, but in hip hop, the DJs, we have to be careful to remember: are you a hip hop DJ or are you a DJ who plays hip hop? Are you a hip hop DJ or you are a DJ who plays hip hop? A hip hop DJ can pull from whatever because that's the nature of our art. That's why I talked about going to find those original samples, because now you're pulling from a different genre and you're playing it and you're tweaking it to a place to where I'm like, wait a minute, is that play the original? Now play the cool. They're like, oh, I didn't know. And it's pulling those genres and being able to play these different genres and still get the crowd moving. And if you just a DJ who plays hip hop, which typically ends up being like our urban club DJs, which ain't no wrong. I love the urban club DJs, but they have a kind of a limit. It's no different than anything else. Are you limited in what you do, or are you not? Can you go outside of your box? And hip hop DJs, the people I named as DJs, I would classify them as hip hop DJ because they have hip hop techniques in how they DJ. DJing came from hip hop, the art of DJing. The turntablism came from hip hop. Touching records came from hip hop. Pulling records back, mixing and blending. EDM is a subsection of how they DJ. Is from hip hop. I mean, they mix and blend. They just really mastered using the effects, using the repeats. You know what I'm saying? That's how they mastered that, and then they have a sound to go with it. But it's the techniques. A lot of the EDM DJs know how to. They started hip hop DJing, bro. They get busy. Don't get them twisted.
That's the reason why you have something like dubstep that have that element to it.
Yep. So yeah, man. It's as a DJ, as a music lover, as a music curator, as a music environmentalist. Let's get back to being responsible for this stuff. Let's put it back, bro. Like, let's do this. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. That's what I do when I go. People who see me DJ know that they not finna hear just what's on the radio. They also know they gonna hear some new shit. They gonna be like, I don't know who this. Like, they gonna hear something that's gonna make you move, bro.
I ain't gonna cap. I didn't brought my Shazam out a few times dealing with you.
Man, I'm trying to. I'm trying to. But I also have to be mindful of mixing in. It's the art form, mixing in enough what you know nowadays, but hitting you with stuff you don't know to put you on. DJs were responsible for putting people on. DJs were responsible for testing tracks in an environment to see if they work. It's okay to do that, or are we afraid?
No.
Are we afraid to get our name selling? Man, I don't know what that is. Oh, I don't care. I know you don't know what it is. At some point in time, you didn't know your favorite song. You had to hear it for the first time sometime. You get what I'm saying? That's on my merch. Stop playing with me. Hey, so we're getting back to that. This is our role. We going back to environments and we making that thing rock. And I think, especially coming out of this year and a half, bro, we got to get to places where we can just go and feel good. We got a lot of stuff happening. I'm tired of stuff happening in front of me in the clubs. I'm tired of having to stop people from doing, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and I think that as we continue to create not only platforms, right, to expose people to different music, but create in different environments. We got a poetry event coming up December 15th that we hosting at the Berry and Rise here.
Yep.
So as we keep throwing these type of environments, these type of events in different environments and curating the spaces we want to see, we can actually be the change we want to see, man.
For sure. So come out December 15th.
Yes, sir.
You'll get a taste of what I'm talking about curating the environment. If there's a time for twerk music, I'll play it. But if we doing poetry and the bass and I'm gonna tell you how I DJ poetry real quick. When the poet goes up, I try to, if I know the poet, I get a song that I know vibes with their energy, and then when they leave, I play a song that's based off of the poem they read. So now I got to be quick, and I got to have an extensive knowledge of my library to go and pull something like that. But I take that serious. That's the environment. I do it. I match it. I want to know what's happening.
Of course. Poetry, and it's all about the vibe, man. Very neo soul, all of that different stuff, man. So I think that that's an art form that we missing, but that I'm looking forward to helping keep alive.
Neo soul?
Yes, sir.
If y'all want us to talk about neo soul next week, let me know, because it's here.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily here in the States. And it's not who you think singing it. So we saving that. Matter of fact, that's gonna be our topic next week. So we gonna handle that next week. And I'm gonna make sure I remind myself to handle that next week. But we gonna talk about where is the soul? You know what I'm saying?
Man, and we got to definitely talk about the politics of why the soul is being expressed where it's being expressed.
So, but we appreciate y'all. May, let me say something to the people. Give me what's the date again? What's the event?
We got the What's the Word Wednesday happening at Berry and Rise on December 15th. So that's going to be Wednesday, December 15th. Doors open at 8 o'clock. We ain't asking too much. We understand that it's a lot of people out here hurting economically, so we don't want money to be a hindrance or a barrier to anybody having these experiences. So we only charging $5 at the door, or you can come with 5 canned goods. We is trying to help some people celebrate the holidays and make sure that they got a little food in their stomach. I don't support it, but we definitely support our people. So with that being said, you got that?
Go ahead. I got the outro, but let me also just be on the lookout. We may be doing something for New Year's Eve.
Okay.
We may be doing something over these radio internet waves for New Year's Eve.
Spaces.
These digital spaces. Because it's a new Omarion variant floating around.
I like that.
New Omarion
variant.
So people may be thinking about being in. So I'm like, hey, all you're going to have to do, and wherever you find us at, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
At Streets A&R Podcast. That's Streets, STREETS AANDR. That's the podcast. Find us there. You can find me on my individual Instagram at Jonny Knogood. That's JONNYKNOGOOD.
Yep. And you can follow the podcast. We are on Anchor. Just look up Street. If you go to Anchor, I think .fm/.com/FM Streets A&R, just like our Instagram and Twitter handles. Also, you can find us on Spotify. If you listen to us on Spotify, you will hear the music that we talk about. If you listen to us, we'll also be creating and making sure we get on the other podcast sites as well, such as Google, Apple, and some of the other ones. So just be on the lookout. We will have a link tree soon on our Instagram and Twitter, so you'll be able to go to there, click on the links, and you can find where we're at. And we're also on YouTube. Just Google Streets A&R. And for the people, if you really mess with us, if you want to see us grow, we are at the dash to get to 100 subscribers on YouTube. Please go find us on YouTube and hit the subscribe button. We are on a dash to 100. And we're going to do something for our first 100. I promise you.
Oh, yeah.
So when you get us that first 100, that gets us our official stamp on YouTube. And we'll talk about that later, what that official stamp is. But we get an official stamp on YouTube with that first 100. So we appreciate everybody who's been listening and rocking with us so far. Tell your homies, tell your friends to tell a friend, telephone, text them, send it, hit us up directly. We ain't hard to find. I'm getEJIKEwithit, GetEJIKEwithit. Hit us up if you got any inquiries, any questions, anything you want to talk about or want to do business with us. You currently right now email us at streetsA&R@rooted-rhythm.com. streetsA&R@rooted ROOTED-rhythm.com, and we'll get to you. That being said, we up out of here.
Peace. Yeah.
We rocking.
The beats, the flow, the rhythm. All movement starts from the streets. Streets A&R Podcast.